Mutadzwa, the my teammate doctor. I've got a passion to see everyone passing mathematics. But why is it that most people fail mathematics? The major reason why most people fail mathematics, they don't have basics in mathematics. They don't have the background of mathematics, the foundation of mathematics. That's the way the biggest problem is. Now, how do you go about it? People have to understand the tricks of mathematics, the tactics, the techniques, strategies of mathematics, methodologies to do with mathematics. Mathematics is a game, actually, when we're talking about mathematics. You have to study how you go about mathematics. Most people, they are sort of a bit lazy. They don't want to really study. How do you go about it in mathematics? To learn the rules of mathematics. Right, today I want to talk about solving equations. At the end, I will try to actually give some questions so that at least you can deal with the basics. If you don't have the basics, you have even difficulties to understand, like, for example, solving graphs, using solving graphically, you have problems again. But what I will try to do is, I'll try to show the paramount parts that are really necessary for you to solve equations. So solve graphically. I want to start off with solving simultaneous equations. Simultaneous equations. Number one, simultaneous. All right, for example, we can say solve y is equal to 3x minus 2. Y is equal to minus, let's say 5x plus 1. For example, just solving that simple equation graphically. Solve graphically. How do we go about it? Most people, they don't know how to draw the graph. Graph. See, that's where the problem is. You have to know the basics again of how to solve a graph. But at this moment in time, I'm not really going into nitty-gritties of solving graphs, of actually just drawing graph. I'm assuming that the person that I'm talking to right now knows how to draw graph. But what we are interested in solving, how do we do it to solve the graphs? So we have to have our Cartesian plan, which is x and y. You have to label the x and you have to label the y. When you're drawing any graph, you have to do that first. There are dexterities to do with graphs as well. You have to analyze and know. I am talking to people who at least have knowledge about graphs, how to draw them. That is what I'm saying. When you're drawing any straight line graph, the general equation of all straight lines, which we have already stated before, general equation of all straight lines is y is equal to mx plus c, where m is the gradient. And c is the intercept. Where c is the intercept. One might say, what is the gradient? Gradient, we are talking about the slope of the line or the steepness of the line. When we're talking about the intercept, this is where the line cuts the y-axis. Where it cuts the y-axis. When I've already done this in terms of trying to draw graphs. So this is just a small recap that I'm just doing there. When you are not drawing this graph, y is equal to mx plus c, which is this one, which is a straight line graph. How do you know that it's a straight line graph? This is not a straight line graph. If there's no power, it means it is a straight line graph. So here, this one will cut here at -2 because the intercept is C, which is the -2. So it will definitely cut here, and it will go like this, the graph. That is the line. It will be my 3x -2. The line will be something like this. This is a rough graph that I'm drawing, but I'm giving you how you do it. So you have to learn how to really draw the graph itself, like which we've already done. Whereby when you want to draw the graph, you have to find out and investigate, doing all that to say x and y. Then you say maybe something like a 0, 1, 2, 3, something like that, and find the values and then draw the graph. That is how you have to do it. But we just want to quickly solve graphs and see how those things are done. The next thing now is to draw the other one. This is the other line, which is y is equal to -5x plus 1. How do I draw this? When you have drawn, you can try it wherever you are. You can try it. It will definitely come and cut here. This one, at +1. Why am I saying to cut it +1? Because the intercept is 1. The intercept is 1. So it will definitely cut here. So my 1 is here. And this line will be something like this. Y is equal to -5x plus 1. How am I knowing that this line is going this way and this line is going that other way? I've already explained these things, but I'm just doing a recap so that at least you can appreciate what I'm doing. If it has got a positive here, it's like when you're climbing a mountain. You move, it's a plus. When you're going upwards, you are climbing the mountain. When you get here, the gradient is 0. The gradient is 0. And you now go downwards, it means it is now negative. It's now negative. So when the gradient here, which is 3, is positive, we say m is the gradient. If it is positive here, it means the line is going like that. So this is where we are talking about. My line is so, and I got it positive. And then my line is so, they will be negative. That is what we are talking about there. So all this one, I know that this is going to be positive because that is the gradient. And here it is negative, so the line will go that way. That is how you do it. Right, we are solving this equation. So how do I now know the root of the solution? I'll now say solution. X is equal to and y is equal to. Right? Where these lines are crossing, that's where this is where the solution is sitting. So you now go downwards and also that way. Right? And then you find out the solution. I will actually give you the solution after the break. Thank you. The mighty Math Doctor, solving graphs graphically. We're solving equations graphically. What I've just done here, I've drawn my graphs and I'm now looking at the solutions. How do we now find the solutions? It means where these two lines are crossing each other, that's where the solutions are. How do I now interpret now? I'll now say, if my 1 is here, my 2 is here, 3 is there, 4, 5 going that way. This is 1 and 2, 3 going that way. This is a rough graph that I am doing here. You have to draw it neatly when you're now doing it at home, wherever you are. It means, according to my graph, where it is crossing here, this line here, it means this is something like 1.5. So I'll say x, because this is x, so x is 1.5, 1.5. Here, 1.5. And x and y, and y, because our y is here, it means again, this is less than 1. So it means 0.5. Something like 0.5 here. So the answer will be now 0.5. So this is now my solution when you are drawing your graph. So when you are drawing any form of a graph, you have to do it this way. I'm reiterating that. You have to draw it this way and then put all your coordinates like that and then solve your problem. Right. What do you do if you've got a problem? Maybe something like now this, number 2. Let's say you are saying 20 minus, let's say 2 y is equal to let's say 8, right? And the other equation is something like y is equal to minus 3x plus 4, for example. Right, you find out that these equations, these ones, zvakanangana, I can see that this is y and y, and this is x and x, and these are this is the intercept, which I'm talking about. Now these ones, there is a mix-up, whereby I have to make sure that we have to make y the subject of the formula first before you work out any problem. So how do you do it? You now make y subject of the formula, so it means 20 minus, there should be an x, I'd forgotten to put an x, sorry. There should be an x there. So we should have y minus, minus 8x is now equal to 2y, because that 2 has to be that side. Right? The same question, I can now divide throughout now by 2. So I can now say this is now 10 minus 4x and is equal to y. I've divided throughout by 2, because I've taken this 2 that side and this 8, this is coming this side. So my actual equation now becomes y is equal to minus 4x, and then I think this will not be a good example, because we've got a minus and a minus, because these lines, they might end up being sort of like parallel. So I have to change one of them so that at least they can cross each other. That's how we can find the solution. I am saying we cannot have a solution with the parallel lines. So let us put a minus sign here so that at least the question will make sense to us. So the minus sign now, if it comes this side, it now becomes a plus sign. And again here, this becomes plus sign. When I'm now doing this, now becomes plus sign again, so that it makes sense. Right, so we've got our y, which is here, and our 4x plus, and then plus 10. So these are the 2 equations. Like this is equation 1, and this is equation 2. I repeat, when you've got parallel lines, you can have, it is difficult for those lines to cross. So you cannot have a solution in that particular case. That is the reason why. So this is positive, and this is negative gradient. It means the one that is positive will go this way, and then the one that is negative, that is also go that other side. So I'll now draw this graph. I'll come here and draw the graph. Now we can now draw the graph, because we have got our 2 equations, equation 1 and equation 2. This one is cutting on the intercept at 4. That is where it's cutting at y-axis, and this one is cutting at 10. That is where it's cutting at y-axis. So here, how do I draw now the graph? I'll now come here and do it this way. So I've got our y, and I've got my x there. The first equation is cutting at 4. So it is just coming here. Let's say, let me put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Maybe I need my 10 at the top, at the very top. And our 10. So it is cutting at 4. This is where I now put it at 4. Right, this is negative, so it means the graph is going like this. So this is y is equal to minus 3x plus 4. The other one is cutting at where it is 10. So it is cutting somewhere here. It is cutting at the top there, but it is positive. The gradient is positive, so it means the graph will come something like this. So y is equal to 4x plus 10. That is how it will be like this. So the solution now, it means this is where they are crossing each other. That's where they are crossing each other. So I'll now write solution. So my y-axis is there. So solution. And now x is equal to and y is equal to. I'll now come down here and here. Remember, these are approximations that I'm doing. These are rough sketches of graph, but the idea of how it is done, this is what I am showing. So I've got a minus 1, and then I've got minus 2, I've got minus 3, minus 4, going that way. Which means my x, this is x-axis. Make sure that you label the x-axis and label the y-axis. That's where most problems emanate from. So my x is here, so it means minus 1, minus 2, minus 3.1. So x is minus 3.1, minus 3.1. This is minus 3.1. And my y-axis, it is cutting somewhere here where there is 6. So y is equal to 6. So these are the solutions. Those are the solutions to the equation. So that's how we solve equations when we are using graphs. So what is really necessary is for you to know how to draw the graphs. I will also, these are straight line graphs that I've just drawn. Two graphs. The third graph is now saying something like x squared plus 8x plus 12 is equal to 0. This is now different. There is now a squared. When you see a squared, it means this equation, it is a quadratic equation. And if you see any power, it means that particular equation is no longer a straight line. I'll actually elaborate on all that. So this is a quadratic equation. And I've been dealing with quadratic equations. This is what I've been saying in terms of quadratic equations. You can actually solve quadratic like what I've been saying. You can solve them by factorization. You can solve them graphically. You can solve them using a formula. And you can solve them by completing a square, which I've done before. So here I can find out, because I want to draw the graph, I can find out whether I can have the equation, can factorize. So this is equal to 0. So x here and x here. To try to factorize, I know the factors is 6 and the factors here 2. So we can say these are the two factors, 6 times 2, 12. And then this and that get an 8. So either x is equal to minus 6 or x is equal to minus 2. Those are the solutions if you try to factorize it. It simply means then that the solutions, those two solutions that I have obtained, should now be found again on the graph, because we are solving graphically. So this is now my Cartesian plane. This is now my Cartesian plane, and I've got an x and y. I will actually finish up my graph after the break. Thank you. The name is Mutazwa, the Mighty Maths Doctor. I'm showing tactics, tricks, techniques, strategies, methodologies of how to solve problems Everyone has got potential to pass mathematics. And this is what we are trying to show everyone, that mathematics is not that difficult like what most people would want to say. Right, I'm drawing graphs. My solutions are -2, -2, and -6. We're just doing that. I'm not saying you have to always do this. You can also even just come here and have a table. You can also have a table, a big table this time, because when you are not doing this table, this graph, it is going to have some curves because it's not a straight line because of the power. So you have to actually do it that way and have values. The values are might be something like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then -1, -2, -3, something like that, because there are going to be many of those ones, and then you plot that one. But I'm quickly showing you how you then obtain the answers, how you really find out the answers after doing that. You can do that at home. Do that, exactly what I'm doing there. I know where it is going, so I don't have to waste time and do that one. So it means it is going to cut somewhere here where it is going to -2. Right? And it is also going to cut where it is also saying -6 there. Because this one, which is 12, when you're dealing with a quadratic equation, it is something like ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. We are saying c is the intercept, and c is the intercept, which is what is necessary here for us to know. That's where it is cutting the y-axis again. So it is cutting here at 12. At 12. So it means here it is cutting here and -2 and also at 12. So the graph is going to come up like this. So quickly you can draw graph, and you can have the intelligence of doing graphs very quickly. So I'm showing you the dexterities of how you draw your graphs very quickly. You can draw this, you can do that, and that, but this is the paramount points that you have to know are the ones that I'm pointing out there. So our solutions already, I've already reiterated the solution that these are the solutions, that one. So our solutions are x is equal to -2 or -6 after drawing the graph. Ndachitsotsi chokuti ayewa ndikandichangendera sei ndawana ne-factorization kuchenjera. But what I'm saying is you have to do it this way, because you've been asked to draw graphically. Use this one and don't draw the graph. But I'm simply saying, as a person who has got intelligence in terms of mathematics, you also double check by factorization, and then see that the solutions that you have obtained after factorization, and also are they coming up the same when you now draw the graph, because you don't just go to the graph and leave it like that. I am saying again, you can also, if you don't have the factors here, you can even use completing a square, which we have reiterated before. You can also use completing a square. So those are the dexterities that you have to use when you are solving your graphs. Right. After this, you can now say, I'm happy, you can solve graphs. We can also solve these equations, even there are two equations, the quadratics again. So I'll show you how you also do that one again. I'll quickly try to do that one as well, whereby you can say solve the graph, like for example, y is equal to 2x squared, let's say x squared minus x minus 12, right? And something like y is equal to this will cut at 12 up there, because our solutions, let me find out the solution first. It means our solutions will be x and x here, because we put a 0 there, and then we have our 4 and plus 3. These are the solutions, because I'll put a 0, right? And then it means they'll cut it 3 and 4, and then I can say maybe y is equal to, let's say, x plus 1, so that it goes that way. so that it goes that way. X plus 1. I can say x plus 12. Let me put the 12 again. Sorry, let me put minus 12. So these two equations are these ones, 1 and 2. Let me quickly draw those graphs and show you how we obtain the solutions on the two equations. Right, this one, we have got our y. It is cutting where x is equal to 4 and also x is equal to minus 3. So if here x is equal to 4, because those are the solution that I'm going to get there when you actually factorize. So when x will be equal to 4 and x will be equal to minus 4. And then here we've got our minus 3. So it means it will also cut at minus 12 down there, because the intercept is minus 3. So the graph is going to be like this. Very quickly. And then this one, which is x plus 1 minus 1. It means there's a plus sign here, which is there's a negative, there's positive number here. So it will also come here and cut like this. And cut here like this. So y will be equal to x minus 12. We'll cut at minus 12 again here. And this is also the negative side. So this is where it will also cut. So the solutions will now come here. Because this line and this line, they are cutting at y is equal to minus 12. Because the intercept is there. So the solution will be x will be equal to 0 here in this particular case. X will be equal to 0. That is where the two lines are actually meeting at x is equal to 0 down there. If it was cutting somewhere here, I would say x will be now equal to that. But I've done it for convenience sake, because I just wanted it to cut here, where I can quickly see that it is cutting at 12 is equal to the intercept is minus 12, and also here the intercept is minus 12. So x is just is not going that way or that way, so x is still on 0. So you can quickly do that when you're also drawing your graphs. So these are the dexterities of drawing graphs that I'm quickly showing. And also that if it is a power, there is a power, it means the curve will actually will be that way. And because there is a positive sign here, what if it was something like y is equal to minus x squared plus 2? If it was like this, how would you draw that graph? One might be wondering. So that at least you can quickly know what I am talking about. It means x will be like this, y will be that, and then because it is negative this side, it will now go, but this is positive. So it means the 2 will be here, and then it will cut here. It will go downwards. It will go down. This is going upwards because it is positive here. You see how we determine? It is positive here, the gradient. So it will go this way. And because it is negative this side, up, it will also go downwards. But because the intercept is 2, it will also go downwards. It means if I'm solving graphs, the two equations, I'll draw the other one again onto this one, and then solve it. Like for example, if I have been given two equations, this one and y is equal to, let's say, x plus 1, for example, x plus 1. It means x plus 1, it will cut here because 1 will be here, and this is positive, so it will actually come and cut here. So there are 2 points that it will cut here and there. So x will be equal to this value, which is maybe 1, and also x here will also cut here, maybe something like 1, 2, 3, or minus 4, something like that. Then we are done. So that's how we do it very quickly. Thank you.